take a look at the layers panel. If you don't have your layers over to the side, this one is in the middle and it's locked with the eye next to it is the lock function. This is up on top of this, so I'm just going to scroll in, and if you've been hopefully listening to those video sections, this is where it goes. Now, is this going to have this little sharp edges on here? Sarah, can you hear me? See this logo right here? Is it supposed to have these sharp edges, or is it just one shape? One shape. So taking the pen tool, I'm just going to take the fill off so I can see this and click the first point, and this first arch, I'm just going to go to the top and make this curve. If I hold the shift key down, these points come out. These are handles, and they come out straight, and it allows me to click on this and curve these a little bit and come all the way to this end. Okay. Now if this is going to be just a straight thickness, then that's okay. I can undo it to back up if I want to change my direction of the arch. And now this is selected. I'm just going to hold the command key and click, so now it deselects everything. The keystrokes are quicker to use than going up into the palette, so this is this shape right here. Up at the top I can change the point size. Inside this section that has uniform, I can pick all these profiles if I wish to change it from thin to thick or something of that nature. Okay, so I'll keep it just as a segment right there. And this is going to be this section for the letter A. Now since it's just a segmented drawing, I'm going to click on the pen tool, and again I'm just going to click down below here and up at the top. Now I could just go ahead and finish it off, but I want to try to make it symmetrical as this is, so I'm going to select these two items, go in the tool that looks like a rotation circle, it's the rotate tool, and click on reflect, and go right to the top where this point is, and just hold the option and click. And this is going to bring up the reflect window. It's going to show you what it looks like in a preview. And I'm just going to click on copy. So now I have this part flipped over. They're not connected here, but if I select the both with the selection box around both of these, then just go to Object Path. I can click on Join or hit Command J, and now they show up as one stroke. But the beauty of that was just the reflection shows the symmetry of this line coming across. So now this can be created in a thickness like that. The last part, I just again use the pen tool, just click right at the intersection of this path, hold the shift key down to keep it going horizontal, click going across, hit the command key, and then come down to this part and do the same thing. The shift key keeps it horizontal as it comes across the shape there. This letter R and H, same idea. I'm just going to come down to begin the path, shift key to keep it straight. I'll zoom in so you can see it, and then click on this part to arch it, hold the shift key down so it stays that curve, come to this line. As I come down to this segment, it's going to show me with this pink line, which is called the Smart Guide, and that's going to just help me line that segment up. To deselect everything, just click on the tool in the toolbox, or command click and just click off of something. And then I look back over here on the letter H. So here I can, again, it's using the Smart Guides to line up with the top point of this R when it comes over to this side of it. So there it is right there. So I can come down, and it's doing the same with a couple on the segment below. There's the shift key to keep it straight, and that makes a vertical line. If I option and duplicate this, this makes this shape come straight across. And then the pen tool kind of clicking, it tells you when you're clicking right on the path with the Smart Guide and the shift key. Now keep in mind that you have the section that you can click on all these windows, all these palettes that you see, and they'll show up. You can place them over into the side here, but it allows you to see the separation of that graphic. So now, if I go to the Layers panel and I hide the in-between layer that shows that, there's the graphic all placed in there and kind of showing the symmetry of each one of these. So you can modify this part as you go. So depending on when you select some items, you make a selection box around it or shift key to select them, and just group that together and just move that one over a little bit, kind of like how it touches inside there. So I might change some of that. Once I have the overall piece, I can set a copy off to the side of it just by Option. That sets it up to the top. This is the selection here. I'll bring back my palettes, and now I may want to add some things to it. So I'm going to increase this a little bit. Under the stroke panel, you can see that it has these caps, which are the end caps, so I can round these off if I wish. You can see that this indication of this R is a little thick. That's the limit up here in the miter. So I can lower that down or increase a little bit, fitting up to that section there. That gives me that piece. Now these are all created with the pen tool, so it's all related to the stroke. So I'm just going to try something with the gradient. If I click on a gradient, you can see it fills the pieces where the end caps are. So I'm going to swap this and turn it off just so I have this stroke. And this gives me this location for it. So I'll click on the stroke right here so it is highlighted. And that gives me these three functions up here where I can change and create this gradient. And this is the gradient that's going across it. So the gradient editor allows me to modify the coloring of the different pieces here to change the stroke of it. So it'll give you a little bit of a line shape like that. So it might be something that you can manipulate in the swatches panel. Down below, if you remember, you have some gradients that are defaulted into there. Just select all of this, change it so it has this type of a piece in it. You can see if you like it. Down below in the left is the Swatch Library. That's where some of the gradients are listed. So you can click on them. No matter which one you click on, it'll automatically go to the selection and then put itself in the swatches panel. And you can extend this a little bit and go through the library just to see if there's any of these that might be appealing to the design. And I can increase the thickness of it. So just a little addition to the graphics as far as how you would place some of the segmented sections in there. Then just hit the Tab key, and that's where you would take your screenshot of Command-Shift-4 to make that shape. And that gives you a couple items. The other thing I can do, just to jump ahead, is I can group this all together. And under Effect, there's a couple of things that you can try. There's Style, all these different pieces. You can kind of get lost in here with all the different segments. But I'll just put a drop shadow on this just to give it a little bit of a thickness coming through. And inside there you can manipulate all the parameters of this piece here. So it gives you a little bit of a selection for it. And keep in mind this is in inches. So when you go and right-click on the ruler and put it at points, it gives you a little more fine-tuning of that segment. So when you take a look at all these sections in here, when they come into points, it's an easier unit of measure to manipulate. It gives you a little bit more to work with. So again, there's the Tab key there. Spacebar that. Command-Shift-4 will give you that. So it's kind of a symmetrical graphic that you have.